right, let's get into it. Did you know Rod Stewart once pulled a Guinness World Record with a free concert that drew, wait for it, about 3.5 million people in Rio? That's not a crowd, that's a nation. Iconic.
Hey, it's Emma, and I'm feeling totally energized today. Coffee is copying, hair is herring, and we are so ready to spill the tea on one of rock's most resilient chameleons. So let's talk. Rod Stewart, British rock legend, the raspy velvet voice, the rooster hair that launched 1,000 hairsprays. He came up in the 1960s London R&B scene, clocked serious time with the Jeff Beck Group and Faces, then went solo superstar with Maggie May in the early 1970s. Over 120 million records sold, multiple genre pivots, duets with everybody and their auntie, from Ra the Mod to Knighted National Treasure. We have range, honey. Let me set the scene. I'm feeling inspired because his early life was chaos in the best way, and it totally reminds me of this spontaneous road trip I took with friends in my 20s. We had a tiny budget, a questionable playlist, and a very dramatic GPS that kept shouting recalculating like it was judging us. Car broke down, we got lost near a goat farm, I learned how to siphon gas on YouTube. Big yikes. But we made it, we laughed, and we figured it out on the fly. Rod's early 1960s vibe was the same flavor of scrappy. He's busking with a harmonica in London, heads to Paris and literally sleeps under bridges by the Seine, hits Spain, gets deported for vagrancy in 1963. That is not a curated influencer Euro trip, that's grit. And then, plot twist, Long John Baldry, who is a major British blues band leader at the time, hears him at a railway station and hires him on the spot. That's a kismet moment if I've ever heard one.
And the man had stage fright early on. At the Fillmore East in 1968, which was basically New York's Rock Temple, he sings hiding behind the amps, like fully behind the furniture, but he powers through. Reviews go nuts. Lesson, sometimes you do it scared, then your life changes. My road trip taught me that. Rod lived it on 10.
Okay, let's move on. Basic origin story. He's born in 1945 in North London. Scottish dad, English mum, the youngest of 5, a football kid until music fully hooked him. He soaks up Sam Cooke and Otis Redding, who, by the way, are towering American soul singers. That influence is why his rasp has soul phrasing inside it. By the late 1960s, he's fronting the Jeff Beck Group, and Jeff Beck is a British guitar virtuoso who can make a Telecaster cry. Then Rod links with Faces in 1969. That's the bar band with Ronnie Wood, the guitarist who later joins the Rolling Stones. The combo is swagger central. Early solo albums are a vibe. Warm folk rock with mandolin, R&B dusted on top. Every Picture Tells a Story explodes in the early 1970s. Maggie May hit #1 in the US and UK, while the album topped charts in Canada and Australia too. That's domination. And it's not just noise. The lyrics feel like confessional stories told over pints with a friend who has seen some things. Next, we've got the key characters who shaped the myth. Long John Baldry, the station platform fairy godfather. Jeff Beck, the alchemist who showed the world how Rod's grit rode atop serious guitar thunder. Ronnie Wood, the wingman with the cheeky grin who becomes a Rolling Stone. And we cannot skip the behind-the-scenes glow-up in 1975. Rod moved to Los Angeles, teamed with Tom Dowd, a legendary producer from Atlantic Records who could turn tape into silk, and worked with the Muscle Shoals rhythm section, the Alabama studio killers who played on so many classics. Result, Atlantic Crossing. Sailing becomes massive in the UK. Then he dialed in radio perfection with Tonight's the Night, and the first cut is the deepest. He is everywhere. Oh, and fashion! The mod years in the mid-1960s, the rooster hair, the tailored jackets, the whole peacock aesthetic. He literally got the nickname Rod the Mod. We love a branding king, and he's not just looks. He's active on nuclear disarmament marches in the early 1960s, gets arrested at sit-ins, street cred before the big checks. That matters. Okay, pause. This next part is everything. The disco pivot. In 1978, Die I Think I'm Sexy hits like a glitter bomb. Critics scream sellout. Dance floors scream louder. There's a lawsuit over the refrain resembling Taj Mahal by Brazilian icon Jorge Ben-Jor. Stewart ends up donating the sexy royalties to UNICEF, which is the United Nations Children's Fund, then performs it at a UN concert in 1979. You can be both trend-chasing and philanthropic, apparently. Do I love the song? Low-key, yes. Do I also love crediting sources? High-key, yes. Two things can be true.
Big unanswered question that will not die on Reddit. Did he play harmonica on My Boy Lollipop in 1964? The adorable ska bop by Millie Small? Short answer, probably not. Credible accounts point to Peter Hodman, with Jimmy Powell also claiming credit. Rod was around that scene, so the myth was born, but the receipts lean away from him. I know. The legend is cute. The facts are cuter.
Now for something different. The ethics chapter. In the 1980s, he played Sun City, that resort tied to apartheid South Africa. Many artists boycotted it, he didn't, and it remains controversial. Fast forward to 2022, he says no to a huge payday in Qatar over human rights concerns. People evolve. And also, choices have weight. I like growth, I also like accountability. You can do both. It's called being an adult in public.
Let's jump to the next thing, endurance. Early MTV in 1981 gives him a second win with Tonight I'm Yours and Young Turks. In the 1990s, he pivots to adult contemporary radio with Unplugged and Vagabond Heart, reminding everyone that that voice on a ballad is illegal in 48 states.
Then, the 2000s, he goes Standards, the Great American Songbook series. If you're new here, that's the canon of classic American jazz and pop standards from the 1930s and 1940s. He wins a Grammy, racks up more huge albums. It's like a masterclass in repertoire curation. Not messy, just money.
And he wasn't done. A Vegas residency kicked off in 2011 at the Coliseum at Caesars. In 2019, he released You're in My Heart with the Royal Philharmonic Orchestra, which is basically the UK's flagship orchestra. New orchestral arrangements of his hits, and boom, back at #1 in Britain. Multiple generations, one voice. Also, he returned to writing with Time in 2013 after saying he wasn't a natural songwriter for years. The memoir unlocked the lyrics. That's therapy you can dance to.
Stats check, because the receipts are wild. Over 120 million records sold, 10 #1 albums in the UK, dozens of top 10 singles on both sides of the Atlantic, two-time Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductee, solo and with Faces, knighted in 2016. Ranked among Rolling Stone's top singers in 2023, he sold his catalog for close to $100 million in 2024, because legacy is an asset class now. And he's slated for Glastonbury's Legend slot in 2025. If that field isn't screaming Maggie May in unison, I will personally start the chant. Here's my take. Rod's secret sauce is fusion. British folk intimacy up top, American soul phrasing underneath, then total shamelessness about chasing a new sound when the moment shifts. Sometimes critics balked, other times he shimmied straight to #1. But the through line is that voice. Human gravel with a velvet aftertaste. It's like whiskey with kindness. I'm obsessed.
Okay, we covered a lot. Next time, we'll spill the tea on another music legend who kicked off a whole cultural movement and rewired fashion, fandom, and maybe your parents' record collection. Stay tuned. So, that's the tea, folks. Keep spilling your own stories and stay iconic. Later!